All right, this is a little embarrassing to fully admit, but I have never played a Resident Evil game before. Now that statement's not exactly true. I don't remember any of the Resident Evil games I've played before. And what I mean by that is originally on the Wii, when I had one, I did rent Resident Evil 4. You know, as a kid, my mom would go to Family Video, and about every weekend or so we would go rent games, and one of those games I ended up renting was Resident Evil 4. Like 9-year-old me had a lot of trouble playing this game, so I ended up not getting very far into it. But with that being said, I don't really remember anything from it. I also remember another Resident Evil game I ended up playing. It was on like this train car, I think is what it was. I don't quote me on that. It's been so long, I can't remember. So for the sake of this video, we're going into it just pretty much assuming I've never really played one of these games, because I, for the life of me, cannot remember it. So with that being said, I wanted to give Resident Evil 4 Remake a shot. This is one of the most critically acclaimed games of 2023, and I've kind of sat on this video for about a week or two now. That's originally when I beat the game, but I wanted to kind of collect my thoughts and really see how I felt about the game after. I didn't want recency bias to really influence my opinion on it per se. Sometimes when you play a game right as they come out, or you know, when you play it, it's a little hard to see some negatives with the game. But don't worry, I don't really see negatives with this game. There's a few things that piss me off, and we'll kind of get there later. And those things that, you know, piss me off, they're skill issues. It's not really anything to do with the game. So don't worry, I'm not gonna come in here and clown on y'all's masterpiece. With that being said, let's get into it, guys. I'm really excited to talk about this game. I really enjoyed it. So let's go into some of my pros about this game. First off is story. This was something I really wasn't expecting, and I don't know why I really wasn't expecting it. What I mean by that is, you know, this story is kind of, it's not really a horror like story, I guess. It's more of like an action, like I'm gonna go save this person type of story, and you're the main badass. You're doing like anime roundhouse fucking kicks on these dudes. You got like the secret agent thing going on. You know, you're in Italy, you're fighting fucking monsters. It's all fucking crazy, and I don't know, I guess thinking like going into these games, I thought they would be a bit more horror-ish, as I've seen Biohazard and Village, you know, and even with Resident Evil 2, it seems to go more down that horror aspect. But with Resident Evil 4, dude, it just felt like a fucking action game, and I loved it. Like, of course it has some of those horror elements. It has the people infected by the parasites. You know, you got these weird monsters all around the area. You're trying to go find Ashley. You get her a couple times and then you end up losing her. But yeah, man, it's just, you know, there's not much to say because the story's not very complex, and it's very much the way you think it would go. You know, spoilers, Leon saves her in the end, but the means to get there was definitely interesting, to say the least. You know, it's, of course it has some horror elements, like kind of like the zombie feel, or these weird monster things, or these things that look like Parasite. And if you haven't seen like the anime or read the manga series Parasite, The Maximum or whatever, it's fucking phenomenal. And these things, some of these things look like they were directly taken from that, and so it's really cool. It's like a really cool, I wouldn't say callback to it, because I don't know where their inspiration for was, but they look so close that I bet there's some inspiration there. But yeah, dude, I mean, I fucking loved what I played of this game. So with the story being as simple as what it was nice, because simple doesn't mean bad. Like, when I mean simple, it's just, you know, the story's gonna go the way you expect it to. There is some curveballs in there, and you know, getting the explanation of what's going on is really the story in this game. And yeah, guys, it's a pretty good story. I don't know, I didn't think the story was very complex. You know, it was compelling. Don't get me wrong, it was very compelling. It kept me invested the whole time. Something like Alan Wake 2, or like some of those games are way more complex, but this shit was just fun. You know, this was just a fun little story that, you know, you could consume and not really get bored of, I think. So characters, we got Leon Kennedy, which is of course our main character. Now you would recognize him if you've played some of the other Resident Evil games, but since I haven't, we're going in this with the perspective that I've never played one of these games. So you find out that Leon is a special agent that is assigned to find the president's daughter. And so he ends up going to Spain. At the very beginning of the game, you go in with like 2 officers or like escorts. They end up getting murdered. You find yourself in this weird village that you think Ashley's at, and you go and investigate. Simple to say, find some weird shit. Things aren't quite right here, and you think you know where Ashley is. And as the story progresses, he seems like a hard ass, and he's very much a hard ass. Like, I kind of compare him to Cloud from Final Fantasy VII a little bit. Like, he's this stereotypical badass army dude, whatever, but you get little hints of emotion and little hints of humanity in him. Like with Ashley, you know, you kind of see him soften up a little bit towards her, and you know, he's very comforting towards her. You know, at first you kind of feel like it's because she's the president's daughter and he wants to make sure she's okay, but at the end of the game you feel like, I guess, a genuine connection there, and you know, that was nice to see. Next, we got Ashley, which I heard is kind of atrocious in the original game on how she plays and this and that. But she's her basic damsel in distress type of deal. But she does provide some relationship building like context, I guess, with Leon. Like, you can tell she really likes Leon. She's scared. She actually kind of fights back in this game. There's a couple sequences where she actually ends up doing something useful. Like, she's not just there, she's not just a fucking escort like mission type thing. But I don't know, I genuinely liked Ashley's character. I do think there's depth there, and I don't know, there's not much to say because I don't really want to spoil this game, but you know, I found her character to be like okay, like she was a good character. There's not too much in depth to her, but there is some stuff. Then you got Ada. I'm gonna tell you what, guys, you know, Final Fantasy proved that I was down bad for women in video games, but Ada, if you're down bad, you're gonna be real down bad with this one, guys. Like, real down bad. You know, she's pretty fucking cool. She's kind of a secret agent for this weird mysterious organization that you don't really know of that's in the game. You know, she's got a grappling hook. She's got her own special pistol. She's very fast, very seductive towards Leon, which there was some chemistry or context between them in, I'm guessing, one of the previous games, because they mention her doing Leon kind of dirty, and you know, Leon kind of tries to have a conversation with her about if she's changed, like a heart-to-heart moment, and you could tell that she's kind of cold, but she does help him. She does help him in the end. I know DLC is her side of the game, because they took that out of the original game and made it a DLC in this one. So yeah. Now for the gameplay, I really fucking enjoyed it, dude. Now, I've stated in some of my other videos, I'm not really too big of a fan of these horror games, and I shouldn't say that I'm not a fan, I'm just not used to them yet. Before I started playing narrative games, I was mainly a multiplayer player, or a multiplayer gamer. I played Call of Duty, I played Destiny, I played a lot of Rainbow Six. Never got into Valorant though, but starting to switch over to narratives like God of War, The Last of Us, which at the time I played the original Last of Us, I did not like the gameplay loop, but playing some of these other survival horror games like Alan Wake 1, or people don't consider that one, but I kind of consider it one with how it plays, Alan Wake 2, and then now this, I'm starting to get used to this, and you know, I think this one is probably the easiest to get into. You got multiple weapons, you got ammo, you can buy resources to make the ammo if you're running low. You got the knife, which lets you parry, or you can like do sneak attacks like kills and all this and that with the knife. It's a very versatile weapon in this game, but you also got the roundhouse kick. So if you headshot an enemy, you can go up and just kick the absolute fuck out of them. And it does a lot of damage actually, and it stuns the enemies. There's multiple enemies around, it pushes them back. So it's a very rewarding system, because you can just headshot an enemy, run up, kick them, pop them a few times while they're on the ground, and sometimes that kills them depending on your difficulty and this and that. It's just a really rewarding gameplay system, and probably my favorite that I've played of this genre yet. Like the whole briefcase like storage system is very unique. Actually, I want to say it's unique, but I would take I would take what I say with a grain of salt right there, because I haven't played much of these games. So just warning you. But I very much enjoyed it. Like I said, it kind of starts off as like a horror game, but once you get to the later game, you got like an AR, you got a pistol, you got like a fucking shotgun, an SMG, you got grenades, you got like a crossbow, you got so much shit in your arsenal that you could just fucking unload on things and pretty much just play it like a run and gun game. Honestly, pacing to the story, this could be different for a few people, because you could be a gamer like I am most of the time, where you just run through the main story, get all the main story stuff done, and you enjoy the game. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And if you wanted to go that way, this is a shorter game. It's about 9-10 hours if you beeline the main story. Actually, there's a trophy for beating this game under 8 hours. So if that tells you how short it is, there you go. But, let's say you want to do some of the side stuff, which I actually did in this game, because when I enjoy a game, I play as much as I want. So if I enjoy the side activities or I'm really invested in the game, I'll go out, do everything else. And, I'll play the main story as is. I'm not going to force myself to play a game if I don't really enjoy it. So there's quite a bit of content here if you're into that. There's a whole mini game system. There's quests that you could do for the merchant, which that dude, I love that dude. He's so funny, and he's just so out of place that it feels right. Like he's your comic relief kind of dude. But as I was saying, there's so much that you could do to make this game longer, like secrets, going back to other areas. Once you have Ashley with you, it lets you get to certain places that you couldn't get to before, and just some of this extra stuff that can make the game longer if you wish. Now, combat, I've already talked about combat. I will say though, difficulty with these games is kind of a factor on like how much you'll enjoy it, because with me starting to play this genre, I'm noticing that, difficulty in this game is usually whether or not you'll find resources easy or not. Less health pickups, less ammo, things are more expensive, fucking takes like a mag and a half to fucking kill something. And I actually think that this game does a pretty decent job with its difficulty. The kicks definitely help a lot. Parries, really help. But yeah, there's definitely times I died on normal. I struggled at certain points, specifically where you're in the cabin with the one French like doctor dude, and you're just having to fend off and board up the windows and everything, and pretty much just kill until it pushes you forward into the mission. I struggled on that a little bit on normal difficulty, just because you were getting ambushed. I played a little bit on hard. Definitely not for me, not for these type of games. I played on normal. In normal gives you an abundance of resources, an abundance of healing stuff, plenty of ammo. It makes shit cheaper. Enemies die in about a couple of shots. Like, it still takes more than one, but especially if you're using the kick, the knife, and just your basic pistol, you're gonna fucking fly through the easy mode. So there's no worries there. My cons with the game, bear traps annoy the absolute fucking shit out of me. Like I said before, definitely a skill issue. Now, one thing I will mention is, as a con, is kind of the aim. Like, it doesn't really feel like there's any aim assist on this, and I know you can turn it on. I ended up turning it on, so this isn't really a con. It's just more of like a warning, I guess, that if you're not good with these type of games, I would recommend putting on aim assist, just because it doesn't have any, and so it's not going to lock you on to anything. It's not going to pull you towards anywhere. And sometimes, if you're in a struggling situation or whatever, or like your crosshair's a little off, you'll miss shots. So I'll just be blatantly honest. If you want a little bit, I'd turn it up just a little bit, but you could put it to your own liking. So that's why it's not really a complaint. It's just more of a heads up. Other than that, I don't really have any complaints about Resident Evil 4's remake. I thought this was a fantastic game, very phenomenal. I definitely see why people love this game. And if it's the original is anything like this, I could see why it was such highly regarded as a Resident Evil game. It's fun. It's simple, easy story to follow, but it gets you intrigued. It gets you questioning things. And like I said, he's just a fun soldier dude, killing fucking zombies, kicking them around the goddamn place, saving a girl. And yeah, guys, it's just a lot of fun. If you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And You know, tell me what you guys thought about this game and down in the description. Please remember to be respectful, and you know, everybody's welcome to share their opinions. If you have different opinions than me or anybody else, please make sure to say it in a very respectful manner. That's all I ask. And yeah, guys, this has been Sir UD, and I'll see you all later. Peace.